Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my Flipping to Billions series. Before I get started, I just want to say that I have fixed this issue with my mouse and generally just improved my recording quality by switching to a different recorder. However, this footage is from a couple weeks ago, so after this episode I should pretty much be through all the old footage and it should all be fixed going forward. But we're starting at about 122 mil for this episode, so let's see how far we can get. Okay, so we're going to start off with, once again, the Anku top, but just look at that swing. It goes from like 23 mil to 25 mil super consistently. So at worst, we're going to get like maybe a 500k margin. If we get really lucky, we might get 2 mil. So we're going to go ahead and put an offer in for 2 of those. Next up, we're going to try the Party Hat Specs. Another pretty slow item, but again, I don't check these offers that much. So we're going to go ahead and put an offer in for a few of these at about 1,126k each. And we'll try for 10. Next up, the Ornament Kits work pretty well. The Dragon Scimitar one seems to have about a 100k margin on it right now. Items like this are very good, because a 100k margin on a 1.5 mil item is good. If you do 10 of them, that's an easy 1 mil profit, and they tend to be pretty consistent. Last up here, we're going to probably do the Dragon Dart. It's one of my go-to items, so I don't really know what I want to do. Often you can get a 100 GP margin, so for every 10,000 you do, you're going to get a 1 mil profit. We can't quite afford 20k, but we'll do 18k now and check back in a couple days. Okay guys, we're back. The Anku tops we ended up buying for about 23 mil, and we're selling them off for 24 mil, so that's an easy 2 mil profit right there. Always good for that item. The Dragon Darts we sold for 28.93, and we bought them for 27.68, so that's actually a very good profit on the darts. See if it's still there. We sold them off for 52 mil, and we bought them for 40, well pretty much 50 mil, so another 2 mil profit on the Dragon Darts. The Party Hat Specs we didn't make a lot off of, only about 200k, and the Dragon Scimitar Ornament Kits we're still in the process of selling, but we're getting about a 100k margin on each of those, so that should be another 1 mil hopefully. Alright, so we're going to put another offer in for the Anku tops. Next up, we're going to try the Anku gloves on GE Tracker, showing potentially a 300k margin per glove. It's not the best considering the gloves are 6 mil each, but we'll do it anyway. Buy them for 6027, and we're going to put the offer in for quite a few. We'll try for 5 of them. Last up here, we're going to do the Abyssal Dagger, and what we're planning on doing is adding poison to it to potentially do a kind of transformative flip. Daggers are kind of generally trending up right now, which I don't usually like to try to guess around with that, but we're going to take a risk, and we'll put an offer in for, well, I guess however much we can do with the rest of our money, which will be about 5. Okay, so we ended up switching around pretty much everything. We did Guthix DI'd boots, which we got a 50k margin on, so that's about 750k in profit there. We did Fury Ornament Kits, didn't make a whole lot of that. Dragon Bone and Necklaces, we got, let's see here, what did we buy them for? 935k, so we're selling them for about a 50k margin, so about 350k there. We finished selling off the Dragon Scimitar Ornament Kit, so we did actually make pretty well 1 mil in profit off of that. And the Anku socks we're in the process of selling off. We're not going to sell them for much of a profit, but either way, hopefully we can sell those off pretty soon. Okay, next up we're going to try the Book of Darkness page set. These do not sell as much as I had thought, but it looks like few people are buying them, so we're going to try to go for at least a 100k margin on it. We're going to buy them for 789, and we'll go for 20 of them, why not? Next up we're going to try the Blessed Spirit Shield. It has about a 50k margin on it. Never flipped this item before, so I'm not really sure how popular it is, but we'll try buying it for about 718k, and maybe we'll go for 10 or 20 of them. We'll go for 20 because they're actually pretty cheap. Next up, the Elder Chaos top. We're going for some kind of medium range cheap items, so we can try to buy like 20 or 30 of them. We'll go for 30 on the Elder Chaos top. I like to go for items like this when I plan on being away for a while, like 2 or 3 days, because these items come through slowly, but they do actually have pretty good margins on them for their price. So we're going to do the Elder Chaos robe as well. Next up, the Team Cape Zero has a 100k margin on it. It's a free to play item, and for some reason these Team Capes always have good margins on them, even though they're free to play. I'm assuming that most people in free to play probably don't have the money to afford that, so that's probably why. So we're going to try buying them for about 35.20 or 35.30, and we'll probably just invest most of our money into here. I guess we're going to go for one more item. Last up here, we're going to do the Zamorak D-Hide set, which again looks like it has about a 100k margin on it, but it doesn't look as promising because there's only one sale, it looks like, for the price I'm going to try to buy them at, but I just need to get going, so let's chuck them in here and we'll check back in a while. Okay guys, we're back, and most of these flips were reasonably successful. We're starting off here with the Blessed Spirit Shield, which we actually got about 500k in profit off of. The Page of Darkness sets were not quite all sold off, but in total, we're going to get 1 mil in profit. The Elder Chaos Top, we're getting about 1 mil in profit on that actually as well. We've also sold off just like one of a couple of these items, so pretty negligible on that, but pretty good on the 3 flips that actually did go as planned, about 1 mil plus 1 mil, so about almost 3 mil in profit from these flips, and the rest of our items are almost all sold off. Okay, so next up we're going to try the Holy Wraps GE Tracker, showing a pretty good margin on them. It's a pretty slow item, but it does actually have a use because it gives one of the highest prayer bonuses, so we're going to go for 20 of them. Oh, we insta-bought one, that's kind of weird. Okay, we're going to have to lower that price a little bit. Next up, we're going to try the Robe Bottom of Darknesses. We're going to try for 30. Next up, the Sagacious Spectacles. We're going for a bunch of mid-tier expense items as well, because again, I'm going to plan on being gone for 2 days, and these take a while to come through. So we're going to go for 10 of the Sagacious Spectacles. We insta-bought it again for so cheap. What? 847? Okay. Definitely going to do these, but we'll have to put in a new offer for, I guess, about 847. Next up, the Dragon Darts. We're going to get about a 50 GP margin on it, although Dragon Darts are very cheap right now, so maybe they'll go up in price a bit. We'll do 1 full offer slot. Next up here, a pretty expensive item, the Third Age Range Legs. It is showing a pretty good margin on GE Tracker, upwards of 500k, which is pretty decent for an 18 mil item. Not the best possible margin, but we're going to try buying a few of those for about 18 mil and 52k. We're going to go for, well, 3 of them, and that'll be the rest of our money pretty well. Alright guys, we're back with some more flips coming through. We switched up a few items and we did the Dragon Bow Necklace instead. The Dragon Bow Necklace, we got about 600k in profit, so pretty good. The Dragon Darts, we got about 442k in profit. The Third Age Range Legs, not a lot, only got like a 75k margin on it, so about 220k in profit there. The Sagacious Spectacles, so good. We bought them for 900k each, and we sold them for about 300k margin. So that's about almost 1 mil, 930k there. And the Darkness sets, we didn't really actually buy any of those, unfortunately. Okay, so next up we're going to try the Team Cape X. Has a 1 mil margin on it. 1 mil, has a 100k margin on it. We'll probably do 10 though, so we're looking to get about 1 mil in profit from that. We're going to buy them for 1601. And we're going to go for 10. Next up, we're going to try the Ruby Dragon Bolt E. Looks like it has just under 100 GP margin on it. So we're going to go for the buying limit probably, which is 13k. And it's 26 mil, so it's kind of expensive, but we're looking to get over 1 mil in profit from that one item. Next up, we're going to do the Abyssal Dagger. It seems to be pretty cheap as far as the day goes. It's down 300k over the day. Look how quickly we're buying that other item already. Again, we might try to turn it into the P++ version of the item. Just depends on the prices pretty well. Once again, we're going to do the Dragon Dart. Has a 50 GP margin. Not the highest I've seen it, but it's still looking to make about 500k in profit off of just this one item, so it's pretty nice. Next up, the Anku Gloves, 300k on them again. We're going to try buying them for about 6,600. Didn't work last time, but I mean, that's no reason not to try it again. Try to buy them for 6602 or something. And we'll just do, well, we can only afford 3, I guess. It's a little awkward, unfortunately. Alright guys, so we got some really profitable flips coming through this time. The most valuable one was actually the Ruby Dragon Bolt. We'll start off with that. We actually profited 1.5 mil from that. Extremely good. We finally sold off all the Holy Wraps for about 670k. For the rest of the items, the Team Cape X, we only got about 250k on because we only got 3 of them. The Abyssal Dagger is actually really well. We bought them for 7 mil, and we sold them for 7.2 mil, so 1 mil in profit there pretty well. You can see we sold them for pretty much 36 mil, and we bought them for pretty much 35 mil, very nice. The Dragon Darts we're still selling off, so we'll get to that maybe on the next clip. And the Anku Gloves, we're looking to get a 300k margin, and we've sold 1 of them so far. Actually closer to 350k, so really nice margin there. Alright, so we're going to try the Ruby Dragon Bolts again. We're going to try buying them for just 2.2k, and we're going to do 2,600 of them. Next up, we're going to try Anglerfish. Has a decent margin for how quickly these items should come through, and we're going to do another buying limit worth of Anglerfish pretty much. Actually, we're going to do 2. Okay, next up, Diamond Dragon Bolt E's. We're going for some high volume, expensive items this time. We're going to do 11k of the Diamond Dragon Bolts, and yeah, hopefully this will work out, and we'll check back in a bit. Alright guys, it turns out I was seeing things on the Anku Gloves. I thought I bought them for 6 mil, but it turns out I bought them for 6,600. I guess I thought that 6 was a 0. So actually, all in all, we lost 1 mil on the item, so that kind of sucks. But, I mean, that happens, obviously, sometimes. Now, for the positives, we did get about 370k in profit on the Ruby Bolts. Kind of a negligible amount on the Anglerfish, only about 100k. And the Dragon Darts, we did sell everything off. We profited a bit. We had to sell this last bit at a bit of a loss, and the first bit at a bit of a profit, so we probably only got about 200 or 300k on that. The benefit here is we finally actually have everything sold at once, so we'll be able to see how much money we're at. So once we claim these items, we'll be actually at 135 mil, which is pretty good, but we're going to keep going a little bit longer this episode, because I really want to push to get more profit every episode. Okay, so next up here, we're going to try the Granite Longsword. Only a 20k margin, but it's a pretty cheap item, and it comes through reasonably quickly, so we're going to go for 50 of them, and we'll leave this in overnight, or maybe a day or two. Next up, we're thinking of doing the Hill Giant Club. It has a huge variance now all of a sudden. Usually only has like a 10k margin, but right now it's up to like 50 to 100k. It's a little risky. We're just gonna price check it. This is a bad idea. I shouldn't do it. Okay, so next up we're gonna try the Zamorak Coif. Actually has a 30k margin on it, so we're gonna go for a massive amount of them. The cap out, I think the buying limit is 75, so I'm gonna do 100 though for some reason. Next up, the Armoral D-Hide set. Not nearly as good a ratio on this one, but we're gonna go for 40 of them as well. Next up, the Team Cape X. Look how nicely consistent it is. Looks like it has like a 75k to 100k margin all day today, so we're going to go and buy them for 16.66, and we'll go for 10 of them. I might have mentioned in the last episode that I'm at a really high altitude, so it's really hard to breathe even when I'm talking really quickly. So if I sound out of breath, it's not because I'm lazy, it's just because it's really high up. Okay, so next up, we're going to try buying the Dragon Plate Body Ornament Kit. We can buy it for 26 mil, and it looks like it actually had like a 14 mil margin. I don't think that's right. But if we try sniping one for cheap, it could give us a really good profit on it, so we're going to try for 26 mil for the Dragon Plate Body. Next up, we're going to try the Torture Ornament Kit. It's a really good item to flip consistently, so we're going to buy it for just over 5,600. And we'll just use the rest of our money, I think, and we'll check back with hopefully a few sales. Alright guys, we're back. So unfortunately we didn't buy the Dragon Ornament Kit for 26 mil, but we got some good flips coming through. The longswords, we got about 240k on. We didn't buy as many as we'd hoped. The coifs, actually, is such a cheap item, but we got 550k in profit just because of how good the margin it was for such a cheap item. The Team Capes, we got 264k on, and the most profitable item was the Torture Ornament Kits at 857k in profit. Next up, we're going to try the Half Moon Spectacles. Looks like they go from like 90k to 200k. Not really sure what to expect here, but I don't think there's any way I can really lose money. All I'm going to waste is a bit of time, possibly, so we're going to buy them for 82k, and we'll go for 20 of them. Next up, the Eternal Gem has about 150k margin on it right now, so we're going to buy them for just about 62.75 seems fair, and we'll go for 8 of them. It's a pretty expensive item. Next up, the Gilded Chain Body has a 100k margin. I've gotten pretty lucky on this item before. Another free-to-play item, I think? Some of the Gilded items are not, but I think this one is free-to-play. So we're going to buy them for 565, and we'll go for 20 of them. Next up, Purple Sweets actually has a decent margin on them. If you can get about 100 GP margin, or even 50 GP margin on an item that's about 2k, it's a pretty good investment for your money. It's always worthwhile to do a little research. That's why G-Tracker comes in handy. Link in the description for that, as always. It seems to check out fine, so we're going to go for 28.2, and we're going to buy about 20k of them. Next up, we're going to do Antivenoms. Now, this is not a good ratio, but I just have to run out the door, so I'm just going to kind of go for anything. 2k is the limit, so we'll check back in a day. My god, what is going on with items this week? We got some absolutely insane margins on some of these items. To top it all off, the Eternal Gem we sold for 1.1 mil profit each, and we managed to buy 3 of them. So we got 3.4 mil in profit off that single item almost. The Antivenoms we got about 500k on. The Purple Sweets are really good on those as well, about 2 mil in profit off of the Purple Sweets. That's absolutely crazy. Next up, the Gilded Chain Bodies as well. We got a really good margin on those. We bought them for 565k each, and we sold them for 729 each. That's 1.1 mil in profit there. And we bought some Dragon Bone necklaces as well. We got about 640k profit. And it looks like literally the last second, the last Dragon Bone necklace sold off. So once we claim that offer, we're up to 145 mil. And I think that's where we're going to end it for today, guys. We started at 122 mil, so that's 23 mil in profit, which I think is pretty good for an episode. The last set of flips probably netted us 6 or 7 mil, so that alone is amazing. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to toss a like. I always appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.